here. Good morning, everybody. Just want to give a minute or two for anybody who's going to join us to be able to join us this morning. Some of you guys are still on vacation. Nice. Good morning, Dina. Again, we look forward to, good morning, Michelle, to these weeks where the holidays fall like on a Thursday, because for most of you guys, you take that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, go back Tuesday. You got to take advantage. I get it. Any chance you can get. Good morning, Patrice. And the 4th of July, I think, is technically one of the only holidays besides Thanksgiving and sometimes Christmas, but Christmas is kind of like one of those givens. Good morning, Stanley, where you guys can definitely take more time off. So I get it, and I get it. And so hopefully you guys are enjoying your vacation, your time off with family, or a time to recoup, or like me and my husband, a time to catch up and do what we need to do. We're in the process, good morning, Rebecca, of putting our house up for sale, and we've been in this house for 7 years, so can you only imagine what it's been like going through every single room? I mean, just one room took a whole day to go through and decide what stays, and what goes. Come on, Lord, look at you, Father, already bringing the message. What needs to stay and what needs to finally go? You know, and it's great, Lord. I love that you're already starting the message, because I follow you, God. It's not about me. But that's been a hard process, you know, because we'll go to certain rooms and there's boxes that we've not been in a while, or, you know, we've not been in that cabinet. We've not been in that, you know, shelving case or that bookcase. And all of a sudden we're going through things, and boy, talk about memories that can conjure up, you know, talk about feelings that can conjure up, and talk about that emotion that we get to make a decision. Does it stay or does it go? Is it time now finally for us to let it go? And don't let me bust out my Frozen song version, y'all. I don't have my little boogie with me, because she can bust it out. I'm just backup for her. But that's been a hard process, you know, coming to things, you know, pictures of my mother, you know, and my mother has passed away. It's, you know, it's crazy, you know, to say that it's been 12 years since my mom, you know, has left us. You know, coming up with pictures, old pictures of me. That's been a hard one. Like, you would not believe. There's ones that I was okay with showing Quinn, and others I was hiding, you know. But realizing in those moments how far, you know, God has brought me. You know, good morning, Wanda, where I was in those pictures, but where I was today. Talk about an emotion, you know, an emotion of baby pictures of Brianna, you know, where she was itty bitty in my arms, you know, us sitting there as mom and daughter. And now, my goodness, she's on her own. She's doing her own thing. She's got her baby that she's taking pictures with. Good morning, Cindy Gaddis. Good morning, sister. To see those pictures of my dad, you know, and then the pictures that came up of that dark period of my life, you know, things that I wasn't ready to let go of back then. I wasn't ready to let go of yet when I first married Quint and was moving from my house in San Antonio to his house. Ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. That wasn't my house. Good morning, Rick. Things that I decided to still take with me. Things that even when Quint was coming back from deployment, and, you know, we were now deciding to build our first home together. Good morning, Hector. What's up? And then deciding, even then, you know, staying in the apartment, putting things in storage, and now moving into our first home together. Those things came through. Those things made it. And then to now be in a place that here I am, about to turn 50 this year, and knowing that half of my life is over. You know, I'm at that place, that fork in the road to me, or this was the training years. This was the girding up years. This was the breaking my back and my heart years, And now this is where I decide, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Good morning, Daryl. What are the plans for my life? What decisions do I need to make? What things do I need to now do to line up with it? But here it is. What things need to now finally go? That means to get rid of it. That means to depart. That means to separate. That means to decide that was once when, but this is no longer who I am. This is no longer where I am. And in some of those things, even though that has still parts of me, it's making a decision that in order for me to do, in order for me to become, in order for me to really step in, it is time for this to be laid at rest. Oh man, talk about some emotions going through that. There was one picture that I just downright had to, number one, hide from Quint. Not that there was another man in the picture, but I know exactly where I was. You could see it on my face. It was during the time that I was being emotionally and sexually and then physically abused. And to see my face, I was 3 shades darker. Woo, talk about what that will do to you. I was 3 shades darker. I had bags underneath my eyes. You could see the stress that was there on my face. You could definitely see the sadness in my face. You could see the heaviness on my face. You could see that I was joyless. That I knew that not only did I need to take that picture out, not only did I need to throw it away, but let me tell you what, I marched myself the moment Quint went to the bathroom and plugged in that shredder, and I took those 2 pictures and I let that shredder shred them to pieces to where they could no longer be put back together or made sense of again. I cannot tell you what that moment did. I had to go to the other bathroom myself because it was a moment for me. And in those same moments of just tears coming down faster than I could control them, there was such a feeling that came over me, a feeling of God's presence being there to say, look at where I brought you from. Look at where you were and look at where I've brought you. You're about to pack up, put this house on the market, to turn around and go into another house that's, and I say this humbly, I say this so humbly because I give God all the credit, a place that I could never imagine that God would have for me, that would be a place for me. Talk about a moment of this period and this period. Come on, Lord, look at you bringing the message right now. Woo! This period where I was, good morning, Karen, and this period where I was heading. Man, I'm going to tell you, for some reason, when you look at these 2 things, this is where I was and this is where I'm heading, there is a space between there. There's a thing that has to happen, because literally these pictures went with me period to period to period to period. But I finally got to this place and realized this can no longer go with me. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about this morning. That's what I want to share with you real quick as we come together for our Monday movement. Because some of us have things that we are still holding on to. Some of us have not made restitution, a resolution, have not come to terms with, have not cut the cord with, have not decided and chosen. And sometimes it's just because we don't see that there's greatness with where we're headed. There's a destination. There's something bigger and better. Some of us think that this is still where we are. Some of us are having an issue that even though these things have been removed from our life, we're still holding on to them. We're still attached to them. We're still trying to move forward, but we've got these things that are attached to us. You know, this week's focus in the movie is called The Gridiron Gang with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, when I looked up what the word gridiron is, it's two things. In gymnastics, it's the basically two long parallel bars, okay, where there's a space in between for gymnastics where they swing, you know, they do the flips and land back on it. Okay. And then gridiron is the lines on the football field where this is this line, but here's the next line. Good morning, Natalia. Good morning, Tracy. Well, let me tell you, just like in football, you cannot get to a touchdown. You cannot get to even the end zone if you don't first kick the ball away down the line. That means that it can no longer, the ball stay here. It's got to go forward. It's got to go down. It's got to go all the way to the very end, or it's got to go to a place where, lo and behold, it's further away from you. You know, when that kicker kicks that ball, he wants it to be so far away that there is nothing that the team can do with it. Let me tell you, it's so far away that they got to go and take a knee and start all the way from the back. They want that ball so away from them that they kick it all the way down to the end. Good morning, Diane. But when it comes to getting your touchdown, when it comes to now being an offense versus defense, because that's what you got to do, man, to defend yourself against those things. Kick it all the way down to the end. Offense is about taking that ball and taking it one line to the next line. And the plays that happen in between are the biggest things that has to happen. You know, some plays, man, you could throw that ball and it just goes like 20 yards down, 30 yards down. And oh my God, talk about a victory even in that. Some of those is just 1 yard. Woo! But guess what? That 1 yard sometimes allows you to restart again, you know, and have a first down where it's not game over. You got the 1 yard that you need. But for some of us, in that time that we try to take it to that 1 yard, in that time that we try to take it and go down that field and try to make that touchdown, try to make that victory, we can get stuck because of the oppression and the offense, you know, stand that we've got and the things that are coming out at us. And instead of being in an offense, we're in a defense. And my God, we can get stuck there. And then some of us that couldn't get the ball forward, that we know what happens on the fourth down. We got to switch up. But when it's time to take the field again, some of us are holding on to, good morning, Ivy, to what happened the last time we had the possession of the ball. You know, I believe that this message today is such a pivotal point for some, because you'll see in Gridiron Gang, two boys that were filled with hate for each other just because of a feud that was happening in their neighborhood. Just because they were told and brought up that the 88s hated the 95s. And there'd been war over it. There'd been afflictions. There have been even deaths and killings just because of that hate and resentment. And lo and behold, both boys end up in the juvenile detention center, a correctional center for juveniles, where they meet The Rock, Coach Porter. And he tells them that today it is time to make a decision. Today it is time that if you want to change your life, you no longer want to be a loser, you want to be a winner. You no longer want to be in a place where you die or go back to where you know you're going to die. Then you've got to make a decision to put all that stuff behind you, to cut the cord, to shred it up in order to go forward. And I love when The Rock says, when you're here with me, it's my rules. And he decides that the way to help these kids break all that, to break the hate, the resentment, the pain, the anger, the things that just, man, cause them to become darker, to become heavier, to become negative, to become, as one coach says, the misfit kids that had their chance or they don't deserve another chance again. That lo and behold, he takes them to the gridiron. Come on. He takes them to the football game. And he teaches them Good morning, Tammy. That in order to transition, in order to go from one place to the next, in order to be one way but to be another, it is going to take getting hit. It is going to take getting beat up. It is going to take having that ball and trying to go in, and you've got a couple of feet, and here comes this person to push you back several feet. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Francis. What's up, Francis? That it is going to be hard. Good morning, Candy. It is going to be something that challenges you. It is going to be something that will define you. It is going to be something that breaks you. Is the process of going from one line to this line. That there was a process. There's a breaking down. You know, it's funny where my office is at. There's all these athletes out here. You know, for some reason, the domain is where the fit are at. You know, the people who love to be outside. They've got the dogs. Like, you'll see people going. These are people running and exercising. These are athletes. Imagine what they endure every morning. They are deciding that this is where they are, but this is where I want to go. And in order to get there, I've got to do all these things to prepare even my body and my mind to get there. You know, those pictures reminding me of where I wasn't just about the relationship I was in. It was about what I thought about myself. It was the thoughts that I had and who I was, and which is the reason how I got into that relationship and thought it was the best that there was the best of, and stayed in it because I thought I was lucky to even have someone, no matter how they treated me and no matter how many times they abused me. Come on. That one of the reasons why there were tears falling so hard is because that was a woman who did not realize her worth. That was a woman who never thought she would be worthy. That was a woman who never knew her greatness, never knew the plans that God had for her and the things that God was going to do. That was a woman who never thought there was a man that was better, that would love her like she's a queen. She never thought that she had anything more than that time in her period. She thought that was it. And every time she woke up in the morning, that's what she told herself. Girl, be happy that you got someone to love you. Be happy that you got someone to be with you. Good morning, Joanna. Be happy that you got someone to love you as a single mama. Come on. Somebody needed to hear that. Be happy that you've got someone to love you, knowing that you're bald and you don't have hair. Be happy. This is the best. You shouldn't be complaining. So when I looked at that picture, I wanted to first tell that girl, what was wrong with you? Woo! Man, girl, what was wrong with you? This was a picture that not only defined who I thought my life was going to be, but it was also about the things that I needed to face and endure in order for me to even make a choice and a decision. Good morning. Good morning, Coach Collins. Good morning, Principal. I said it, Collins. Little side note there. But little did I know that the woman that I would look at in the mirror now is a woman that I never thought could be. And the plans that God has for my life, the plans that God has for your life. And it doesn't matter who tried to rob it. Doesn't matter who tried to steal it. Doesn't matter who tried to plan it, to orchestrate where the whole world or the whole city or the whole district was against you. It cannot change the plans that God has for you. See, it didn't matter what happened in my childhood. It didn't matter how many people pulled my wig off. It didn't matter the names that I was called like Piggly Wiggly. It didn't matter that I was the only one at the lunchroom table eating lunch by myself. It didn't matter the plans that the people had for me, that life in my past had for me, the naysayers had for me. It didn't matter when I started my business how many people tried to take it down or steal my plan altogether. It didn't matter how many times I was sexually abused. It didn't matter how many times I was told, don't look up at me when we were being intimate because I don't want to see your face. It doesn't matter how many times the man who said, I'm with you, be happy, would tell me, I don't even like the sound of your voice, so just shut up. See, it doesn't matter because God said, I'm going to give that voice to the world. I'm going to make you speak louder. I'm going to make you speak more. I'm going to have you on multiple channels. See, the enemy wanted to shut me up. The enemy wanted me to not even be seen. The enemy wanted me to go away. The enemy wanted me to give up. The enemy wanted me to say, this is my life. And the enemy wanted me to be successful when I tried to take my life. The enemy wanted me to think that this was all I was worth. This was all I was going to be, just so I couldn't get here today to take that picture and shred it up and say, my God is bigger. My God is more. But more importantly, I am worth more. I am bigger. You know, there's a scene in the movie that I love, and it's called Count of Monte Cristo. Woo, talk about a movie. Boy, was he looking good. Well, he was sexy. And he's the guy who played Jesus, y'all. Talk about the correlation. Jesus was a beautiful man. Come on. And this Monte Cristo, the Count, was beautiful. And I love the scene with the boy that he was setting up that he later found was his son. And I love what he says to that young man as he's turning 18. He says, it is so important that you tell that storm. Do your worst. That you tell people, do your worst. That you tell naysayers, do your worst. That you even tell yourself, do your worst. Because who God is making me to be will do his or hers. God's not done. And this whole process is a gridiron. This whole process is taking me from here to here. And as long as I stay, and as long as I keep moving forward, and as long as I keep choosing to acknowledge that I am great and worth something, that where God is taking me is a place, and where God is taking you is a place that you can't even fathom or imagine, because there's no storybook and no movie that can paint that picture. Separating is a hard thing to do. Making a decision like those two boys in Gridiron, that through the challenges and the practices, through running the drills and keep going on the drills, to the rock facing one kid, as you're going to hear this Saturday, and made him, work it all out. Get it all out, son. We ain't stopping until it's all out, and I break you down to where you're nothing. Because only when he broke that kid down was he able to show back up to that field, and all of a sudden there was a new person in that game, a new person in that team who ended up becoming a leader of the whole entire team. And to see those kids, good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Tamika. Good morning, Stephania. To be able to put hate down, good morning, Laura, or Lauda, was something that no one thought could happen. Because some of the things we need to let go of are the things that have been in our generation, that have been in our life. Even before we were born, we need to cut it. You know, there's things that I went through with my family, like I said, that I had to let go of, that I had to get rid of, that I could no longer let choke me. Come on, y'all. I could no longer let squeeze the air, good morning, Shanika, out of my life. I had to let it go. Woo, there it is again, let it go. I had to put it down. Good morning, Christian. Hello, brother. Because I could no longer carry it. It was downright taking the life out of me. And it was then that God says, now we can take this ball to the end zone. Now I can move you forward from line to line and point to point. Now we can win this game. And now you can become who you were destined to be. You guys, there's a transition that we have to know that is going to happen in our life. But even more so, there's a transition and a choice that we must make to get rid of some things, to let some things go and no longer let it take life out of you. Some of those things are relationships, so we've got to let go and put it in its place. Reposition yourself and watch how you could have a relationship with that person, but maybe it's a different kind of relationship. Let it go. Some of that is your jobs. Ooh, they're just draining the life out of you. Or ones that don't even see your worth, and you got to let it go and you got to move on. Some of it, it's how you see yourself, and you keep beating yourself up and keep letting negative in your life and speaking negative. You got to let that crap go. You got to fire that person. You got to demote that person. You can't be letting that person lead in your life. And you got to let God promote the other one, the one he created. Some of it is friendships. Can't tell you how many friends, I didn't want to let go of. But God was the one to remove them. I'm still holding on, and God's up in heaven like, daughter, let it go. I am trying to move you into something, and you're preventing what I'm trying to do in you, what I'm trying to give to you. Let it go. Because again, you've heard it. They can't go where you are. And not only that, you can't take your position if you stay there. But what it takes, what's required to do that, is what this whole month is about, is the courage to do it. I had to have courage to walk out of that relationship. I had to have courage in order to start telling myself something different in the mirror every morning. Good morning, Andrew. I had to have courage to walk away and not go back. I had to have courage to plan for a greater day. I had to have courage when I had people trying to take down my business. I had to have courage to keep fighting and keep pressing forward. And here we are, almost celebrating 30 years. I had to have courage every time God came and gave me a challenge that I didn't know how to do, I wasn't qualified to do, and I wasn't equipped to do. I had to have courage to say, Lord, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to go and try to get it done. And Lord, can you meet me there? Lord, can you help me get it done? Can you give me strength to do it? Can you give me strength to endure it? Can you give me strength to press forward, Lord? Because I don't want to stay at this line. Lord, I'm in your gridiron. I want to go to the next line all the way to the end zone, Lord, to the victories that you have for me. So guys, take courage. I heard this one, and some of it is your family. I heard this came down low like a little text message. Some of it's your family, some of it's your own kids. Let it go doesn't mean you got to stop being their mama or their daddy or their cousin or their auntie or their sister or their brother. Let it go could just mean let it go and put them where they need to be, because they can't be up here with you. You go look at Joseph, boy, he had to let it go. God was saying, let that go. I know your brothers tried to kill you. I know they tried to steal your fortune from you. I get it. They were jealous of you. They were hating on you. And some of the times that happens in siblings. You got all that going. They don't want you to get ahead. They want you to hold back. They don't want you having it where you're the leader and they're supposed to be the leader. They're the oldest. I mean, I'm going to sit here and tell you, the things that can happen when it comes to family and siblings is something else. But you also saw what Joseph did, though. That as Joseph had to go from challenge to challenge, to being put in a pit, to being sold in slavery, to being put in a jail, to being put back in jail because a woman lied on him because she wanted him and he said no. Come on, just telling the truth of the Bible. That she lied to her husband and said he tried to do something with me just because she couldn't stand a rejection. Oh, we ain't gonna go. That's another sermon. That he ended up back in jail again because of the plans that God had for him. God's plan was always going to prevail. That Joseph had the gifting of being able to dictate dreams, and the king needed 2 dreams dictated. But the man who was supposed to remember him who didn't says, I know someone. And the king sent for him, and Joseph told the tale of the dreams and even told the king what he needed to do, gave him a battle plan, a strategy, a business plan in order to keep the land and his people healthy and not starving, that he became the second in command to the king. Come on. That here we are many years later, and his brothers had to come and kneel to him. Come on. God's plan can't fail. We are the ones who fail ourselves. So as you move forward to this week, cut this cord on Sunday. Start new today on the first down, on Monday. And run your race. And don't wait till Friday. Get it done in 4 quarters. Come on, get it done. But the first thing you must do is you may need to decide this morning, what are things you need to let go of? People you need to put behind you. People you need to throw all the way down there, or just throw away. People you need to reposition, or things in your heart and your head from afflictions that you just need to give to God and say, I can no longer do this. And I care more about, Lord, getting there and where you're taking me than I desire to stay here. You guys, I love you. Okay, don't even need to know all of you. Okay, go seize you. Go take authority over the greater you. Go put and clothe on the greater you. Just like putting makeup on your suit, men. Go put that suit on. Go put that do on. Go put that makeup on. And shred yesterday. Shred the pain. Shred the hurt. Shred the forsakenness. Go shred it so that it can never be found again and cannot, like Humpty Dumpty, be put back together again. It doesn't exist. And step forward and move into what God, I say this all the time, but this weekend's been hard, y'all, with these pictures. But I celebrate what God is doing more than I celebrate what he's done. I love you guys, and sorry if it cuts. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to always have that challenge. I get it. Enemy can only attack me one place, and it's the internet. So as long as you guys stay, as long as you guys hang tough, and even if it goes and cuts, you just stay there. God's going to work it out, y'all. He's going to let his message prevail. Don't you worry. I don't care if it's a little sloppy. The message is going to get through. That's just the enemy upset because he knew that somebody needed this message today. And I hope that it was you. Guys, all I ask is that you share this. Don't walk away and not share this. Okay, if you got one thing, don't walk away. Man, thanks, TA. Share this message. I look at it this way. I'm just going to say it. I should walk away with people that are logged on with that many shares. If I've got 10 people, there should be 10 shares. If I got 20, there should be 20 shares. Guys, you never know, because maybe God got you here because somebody else needs to hear. Maybe you say, look, I'm good. I didn't need that. Okay, but maybe someone you know needed it. Please share these messages. So tune in. Good morning to Shauna. What's up? Good morning, Mama Cynthia. Good morning. So make sure you guys tune in this Saturday. Woo! Because at the end, man, I just go there. I tell a story of a young man that reached out to me from my childhood. I can't even believe I got through that story to talk about that it's time to let it go. And the only way we can go that way is to let this go. So I love you guys. Have a great week. Move into it, you guys. This is your mission from Superhero for Christ, TA. I love you guys. Bye-bye.